Hello everyone, my name is Mark. I'm your driver. It is extremely windy, rainy, and cold today, but that is why we are driving something with Xdrive. This is the 2024 BMW X4 M-Competition. It has the S58 and BMW M Xdrive, which means this thing is full M, except that it happens to be wearing an X4 bodysuit, which makes it a little bit bigger. It's actually quite a big car. You can see it right here next to the X5 here at BMW of London, and you can see that it's not exactly a small thing. It's a fairly large SUV. It has plenty of cargo space with the clever little BMW roundel there. We have plenty of space here in the trunk. We have space underneath the floor for some extra little goodies. And of course, we'll get that license plate back on there. Now, you are going to be losing a little bit of vertical space compared to something like the regular X3 or X3M, but that is because this is a sloping roof. It's sort of a Grand Coupe design, except for, well, an SUV. So, I don't know. I'm a Grand Coupe person, but I don't really know how to feel about this. I think the yellow paint is definitely very loud and very extroverted. If you got rid of the bright highlighter yellow paint, you would be left with what I think is a little bit more cleaner and more mature BMW X6. So without any further ado, we shall get this on the road, but not after I sit in the rear seats. So we are going to sit behind myself at 6'3", and the legroom is a little bit on the tight side. This handle here kind of intrudes a little bit, especially with these larger bucket seats. I do have plenty of space though to slide my feet down in underneath the seat in front, so I can get fairly comfortable. And the headroom is actually not that bad. It's just about touching when I'm kind of sitting upright, but if I were to slouch like I normally do, I can actually get myself pretty comfortable back here. Of course, we have our cup holders. Oh, these classic cup holders. And of course, you do have heated outboard seats and some climate controls back here, which is nice. So you can keep yourself nice and comfy. And of course, the door cards in here are just absolutely beautiful. You have soft stitching up top. You have soft stitching in the middle. You have beautiful carbon fiber here with a nice door pull, nice speakers, nice embossed X. And it is just really nice back here. You do have some scratchier materials down below, but that is where your water bottles and things would be that are all going to slide around and scratch it up, so I'd rather be scratching plastic than leather. So let's get into the front seat where I am meant to be at this height, and let's take this thing for a drive. We've got plenty of beeps and bongs from iDrive 7.5. iDrive 7.5. We've got our M shifter with some nice stitching around the outside of it. I always like that. I really do like this shifter with the little shift controls and the stitching and the embossed M. I think it looks really nice. On the road with the X4 M-Competition, and right off the bat, it drives very strange, and I'll explain. It drives very strange in that, as I said in the intro, it's a big car, right? It's an SUV. It's a little bit sleeker because it has, you know, the Sportback sloping roof. But the way it drives is remarkably sedan-like. It's just that I happen to be sitting up quite high. So it is like I'm sitting on top of an M3, driving an M3. So like the steering inputs and everything are all very direct and very sharp, and there's practically zero body roll whatsoever. But I'm sitting up high, so I'm expecting body roll. I'm expecting SUV, you know, driving characteristics, but there's absolutely none. It drives like a car, which I haven't experienced before. Most vehicles I drive, for the most part, drive how they look, and this one so far doesn't, but in kind of the best way possible. My heated seat is getting nice and warm, if not maybe a little bit too hot, which is a good complaint to have. It means that it works. My shoulders are nice and bolstered in these nice M seats. I don't feel like I'm gonna slide out anywhere. It feels like my whole upper body is where it needs to be. The steering is a little bit on the heavy side, but I think that's okay, given that the wheels are a little bit wider. And again, this is a big car, so the steering weight I think is okay. We'll give the wheel a crank. See that turning circle? Not quite. And the shifts are just butter smooth. This engine transmission combination is, I mean, there's a reason that M cars have gotten so popular in like the last 3 years. It's honestly, I think, down to the S58 ZF 8HP combo. So there's M mode, M dynamic mode. We have maximum attack on the shifts. Nice and responsive. She rips. Bump. Very well damped. Absolutely zero lean. That is bananas. That's so strange. Like if I just yank the wheel, the car is just totally planted. That is very strange for a vehicle that looks like it has a high center of gravity.
Yeah,
that was like 3/10, and you can tell that this car just wants to be pushed. It wants to go faster. It really kind of feels like it wants to go on track, which funny enough is something that no one is going to do in this thing, but it feels like it really wants to coax you into doing it. Like, see how I can get around this corner totally flat? See how it rotate? You should take me on track. You should take me on track. Do it.
Coward.
Exactly. It's highlighter yellow, like.
X4 M42 over the years sold a lot, but it just pushed the price up so much. Like that you were probably about 90 grand.
Whoa!
For a decent spec
non-M X4.
M40.
No, don't do that. I'm changing the displays all around. No, stop. I'm trying to see how many miles are on it.
60.
Okay. Do these come pre-broken in, or are they break-in?
Yeah, the braking period.
Okay. Oh man, that F-150 is on my butt. That back end wants to come out. Nope, he is nowhere close to us now. That back end wants to rotate, and I'm here for it. This thing would be so much fun in the snow. No, I can't even say the snow because it's got so much power. It's got 500 horsepower. It would be fun anywhere, really.
Do I need snow tires? Yes, unless you have a death wish.
Yes. As I tell people on the channel, four-wheel drive does not mean four-wheel stop. So
Exactly.
Your momentum does carry whether or not you have four-wheel drive. Things in motion stay in motion, especially if they're 2 tons. It turns out this gentleman beside me with a real job has more important things to do than to entertain a 20-year-old on his day off wanting to drive nice cars.
Hopefully one day I can just drive one.
That's the goal.
With my plates, not a deal.
I do have to say the suspension is, I mean, it's hard in this mode, but I don't find that there's that big of a difference between regular and sport suspension. It is kind of just hard all the time, which is a combination of this being a tall, heavy vehicle needing to stay perfectly flat through the bends, also having large wheels with low profile tires. There's a lot of things working against this vehicle's ride comfort. Like pretty much all of them, like pretty much all of the things that you would want to have a comfortable ride. Lower center of gravity, lighter weight, larger profile tires. This just doesn't have any of that. And, you know, for that, we'll go back into comfort, or our M1, which is all of the comfortable settings. And yeah, it's still pretty hard, but
it is bright yellow.
It is bright yellow, so you do kind of have to you see the car, it rides how it looks, which is a bit on the aggressive side, but on smoother pavement and stuff that's not totally broken, or, you know, as long as the impacts aren't particularly sharp, it's very comfortable. It irons everything out very well. It's just that when you get into those sharper impacts or broken pavement or, you know, expansion joints, that's when you'll find the suspension, it doesn't feel overwhelmed, but there's a lot happening. So it does drive like an M car. It drives like the M3, M4. Actually, if I had to compare it to anything, it would probably be that M8.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is an M car, and it pretty much drives exactly like an M car. You just happen to be sitting up much higher. Like, I do think that the rate at which you could make someone violently ill in the back seats is, it is pretty astonishing. It would be fast.
To have nice warm butts though when you're doing it.
You can be violently motion sick with a heated seat, which is really the way to do it. But as far as like brake pedal goes, which is the thing that makes me the most car sick, mostly with EVs, I find, this brake pedal is very easy to modulate. It's grabby, and it has nice bite. You know, you don't have to get very far into it, and it has nice feedback, but it's not so grabby that I'm throwing Cody's head into the windshield. I think, right?
Yeah.
I've been okay?
Previous gen M2 brakes. Oh my God.
Nothing but stopping.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I dare say I might even be able to do a limo stop with these brakes, which I think is quite good. That's a good thing to be able to do, especially in one of these, because once you're done hooning around, making your passengers sick, you do want to be able to kind of say, okay, it's over now. It's over. Like, you can put your head against the side and relax for a few minutes.
All the M cars too are becoming a lot more refined, but
yeah,
it's kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing with them.
I'd say even more with this, because it just doesn't look like it should go around a corner like it does.
I don't know the actual engineering or design components behind it, but a lot of people will say that this will drive the exact same as an X3M, but I think it's slightly more sport oriented.
I mean, just visually, it looks like it might even have a longer wheelbase. I don't know that to be true, but it looks like it should. But I think this one, compared to the X3, because with the 3 and 4 Series back in the day, they were basically the same car, but the 4 Series was just slightly lower, slightly wider, but ultimately had the same wheelbase and everything. So I think they probably would have done something similar with this, where it's just very slight sort of character adjustments to the car.
And I'm sure the X4 will come back. It's just...
Oh, it has to.
They didn't sell enough.
Didn't sell enough quickly enough
to leave a line open at a factory to specifically produce X4s, because this would be the last on this chassis.
Oh wow, yeah, because the X3's gone.
Yeah, so it would be they would have a production line for X4s, which...
Yeah, just financially I don't think makes a ton of sense. Which is a shame, because you said, like 6 months ago, these things got stupid popular.
Yeah.
Because everyone realized, oh my god, it's kind of a discount X6.
Yeah.
gonna do my best to take some paint off here. It's just super bright, no one will notice.
Yeah.
This thing is an absolute ripper. The interior space is really nice. I love all of the physical controls. You have all of your physical controls down here, which you can assign, which means it doesn't matter if you have 8 CDs in there. You have 8 different like quick access controls to whatever you want. You can program every single one of these, and you could have 8 different unique things that these buttons do that just makes your life so much easier. So you're not having to go into the touchscreen, you're not having to take your eyes off the road. Because with something that drives as well as this, and with a back end as exuberant as this, I think you'd want to be keeping your eyes firmly on the road. Oh, and we didn't even get into track mode. But this car's got to break in. You have to be nice to it. And with that, I think that's going to end it off. Thank you.
No worries. It's been a pleasure.
And yeah, I'm going to get couple more shots of this, and then we're going to do some other videos inside.